Bitcoin is no longer risky. It sounds crazy, right? People think about Bitcoin as a risk-on asset, but I'm here telling you it's not anymore. It's not that risky. And everyone should put a portion in their portfolios, in my opinion. I want to go through why this is. If you haven't already allocated to Bitcoin, maybe now is a decent time to. If you want extra exposure to Bitcoin, you can check out the link underneath the video. You can check out BYDI. You can sign up in just a few minutes. You don't have to KYC. You don't have to have a VPN. And you can start using leverage when you trade. You can trade Bitcoin. You can trade Ethereum. One thing that I've been able to do is I've been able to actually get really good returns this cycle because I've used 2, 3, 4x all the way up to maybe 7x is one of the more aggressive trades I've done. Of course, I do have some that are a little bit more aggressive too, but I've been able to trade on these low leverage. And because we haven't seen an incredible amount of volatility, we haven't seen 50% drawbacks or drawdowns, I've been able to ride out this market for a long time and be able to get really good returns. You can actually see over here on BLOFIN, I have a 7x on Bitcoin. And yeah, we're up almost 800%, $22,000. This is after taking profit. So if you want to trade crypto, check out the link underneath the video to BYDI. Now, Bitcoin is no longer a risky asset. I know it sounds crazy at first, but when you look at the volatility of Bitcoin, it's gone down massively since the launch of the ETFs. And a lot of this is due to the ETFs buying up a significant amount of Bitcoin and a lot of hedge funds trying to get their hands on Bitcoin when we see big pullbacks, just a general risk-on environment. And then also, there's just been a huge embrace of crypto with this current administration. We've seen volatility go down so significantly that it's only twice that of gold, which is considered pretty risk off. A lot of people would buy gold ahead of stocks if they were trying to look for something with low volatility. What we've seen with Bitcoin since the launch of the ETF, sure, we've seen some drawdowns that are maybe 30% or so, but this was also at a time back in January to April that we saw stocks fall down 30% as well. We saw the NASDAQ fall down over 20, 25%. A lot of tech stocks like Google, Amazon pulling back 35%. Bitcoin pulling back even less than some of the biggest tech companies in the world, some of the most profitable companies in the world. And again, I think a large part of that is due to a lot of entities trying to get their hands on Bitcoin, like the ETFs. Also companies, we have countless companies. It seems like 3 to 5 more every single week trying to buy Bitcoin. Now we have 150 or so companies taking out debt, pushing cash flows over to Bitcoin. And at this point, I think it's still kind of like, sounds bad. I think these are like C-class, D-class companies, a lot of them. A lot of them are unprofitable companies, but as time goes on, we'll see more and more profitable companies look towards Bitcoin as a way to store wealth instead of maybe buying back their own shares, which maybe are a little bit overvalued at certain times, or paying down debt or just stacking cash. We'll see them allocate to Bitcoin. The other great thing about buying Bitcoin as opposed to buying back your own shares, you can go use that capital if you want to. If you see something that can return better than Bitcoin, you still have the cash or the Bitcoin there. If you buy back your own shares, sure, you can go dilute again, but investors don't like to see you buying back shares then diluting, buying back shares then diluting. So you actually have the capital still there. So that is one reason I think we'll see, Bitcoin continue to stair step up. We also have an administration that's very pro Bitcoin right now. They want you to be able to buy Bitcoin in your 401ks, which I think will naturally take out a lot of volatility. It will cause people to continuously buy every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. And we'll probably see drip buying, kind of like we see in VOO, where no matter if the market seems overvalued or undervalued, there's still buyers all the time buying constantly into the S&P 500. I shouldn't say VOO, but into the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ. Of course, there will be drawdowns still. We'll still see 30, 40% moves. And it's not like we've gone into a deep bear market for something that can't be flipped around quickly. It's not like we've had anything besides really tariffs, I suppose, over the last year or two that could negatively affect Bitcoin. Of course, we have had some selling and we've had some bearish momentum at certain times, but generally it's not been anything like an 08 crisis or a 2020 COVID scare or anything like that. In general, too, I think governments are more likely to print their way out of situations, which could also help Bitcoin and Bitcoin investors, because we've seen even through COVID that the governments really like to print money and to stimulate the economy to try to get problems to go away. So with that happening, Bitcoin should continue to step up. I think there are more people that will buy Bitcoin than ever over the next couple of years, maybe in part to try to combat the money printers. So if you haven't gotten allocation towards Bitcoin, I don't think it's necessarily too late. I think what people need to guard against is thinking that it's too late to buy Bitcoin, right? If you don't have an allocation, you should be allocating. Don't try to time it perfectly. Just try to get your hands on some and dollar cost average into it. It's kind of like saying that VOO is too high or gold is too high. Like, these assets will just continue to go up. And of course, there are better times and worse times to buy them based on, certain pullbacks. But we have seen a 10% pullback, and it was bought up right away. Like within a few days, we saw a 10% move, and then we've gone back up half of the way, basically. Of course, like I said, we will see drawdowns in the future. That is when you really go heavy. When we see a 20-30% drawdown, of course, the stock market's going to have the same thing, and real estate doesn't typically move quite as much. But we're going to see drawdowns in every asset class forever, right? Because there's fear that hits the market. People get over leveraged. People get wiped out. So whenever you see opportunities like that, I think it's probably a decent time to buy moving forward, because really, Bitcoin is less risky than ever. There's less risk of it, being hacked. There's less risk of the U.S. outright banning it. It seems like they're trying to protect it. Not that they could ban it really anyways, but there's never been less risk buying Bitcoin. The only thing you have to look at is the price. If you look at the fundamentals, everything is the best it's ever been. The price obviously is higher because of the fact that it's less risky than ever, but we're going to continue to see it step up, in my opinion. We will see drawdowns, so like I said, take advantage if you can when that happens. If you want to trade crypto, check out the link underneath the video to BYDI. If you're thinking, wow, this seems overvalued right now, keep in mind, we're basically at neutral. On the RSI, the daily RSI, we're at 54. 50 is neutral. 70 is overbought. 30 is oversold. We're at 54, 53. So we are not anywhere close to overbought recently. This cool down period is healthy for Bitcoin. So again, if you want to get your hands on some before the next pump, check out the link underneath the video. Thank you so much. Check out BTCC or BLOFIN or BYDI, and I'll see you in the next one.